Good morning, everyone. I just want to let everyone know that only delegates and alternates substituting for a delegate can sit in the designated area. Others, please stay with the residents, which is on that side over there. Okay. Okay, I want to bring the meeting to order. And Bertha, do we have a quorum today? What she said? Okay, so we don't have a quorum. Yes. Okay, so basically what that means, it's okay that we don't have a quorum, but that means that we cannot vote today, but we can still proceed with the meeting and take care of business. Okay, so we'll pursue that. Alan, could you go ahead and with the minutes, please?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're catching up. We can now approve the minutes of the last two meetings. Okay, so in the October edition of the Cobrua Reporter appear the minutes of, let me turn to the Delegates page. September. Yeah. Right, until 39 people arrive, this is not official. But I want you to know that we have it here for when we need it, okay? Thank you.
Jody, would you do the security report, please?
Good morning, my name is Jody with United Security. I'm here to present the report for the month of September. For miles patrol, we had 4,925. Pre-authorized calls, 5,589. For contractors, we had 620. Elevator rescue and malfunction, we had 8. For auto accidents, for the month of August, we had 2. For September, we had 1. Welfare checks for August, we had 4. For September, we also had 4. For fire, we had 0 for both months. And for IDs confiscated, for August, we had 73, which was 15 for the clubhouse, 58 for the gates. For September, we have 49, which is 18 for the clubhouse and 31 for the gates. Any questions?
One in the back. Freddie, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Fred Hadley. I'm in Cornwall E. I have two questions regarding security. The first has to do with road markings in the village, every stop sign in Century Village has a stop line, which is a thick white line on a pavement that you're supposed to bring the front bumper up to that line, then look, and then proceed. Except for the one at this south parking lot at the clubhouse, which is the larger of the two parking lots. When you exit the south parking lot now, there's no stop line. You have to go right up to the crosswalk. If somebody's coming along, there's very little buffer or margin for error. So we just need somebody to paint a stop line at the south parking lot exit. The other question has to do with what's been in the news lately, and that's the open carry rule. And I'd like to know what is the policy of Century Village Boca. I know I checked with our sister village, and they have for at least a decade signage at every pool and every recreational facility stating no weapons. They don't say guns, they say weapons, which includes knives, slingshots, cauldrons of boiling lead, whatever you call a weapon. No, none of those. We don't have any signs here. I looked around. I went onto the internet, Century Village rules and regs. They say no photography, but they don't say anything about whether you can bring guns into the clubhouse. Now, we know people are wearing guns on their hip. That's called concealed carry. Excuse me, folks in the back. This is very important. Hello? Hello? Hi. Hi. I know you don't care, but please listen. It's important. That's concealed carry. We can't do much about concealed carry unless we put expensive metal detectors at all three of the clubhouse entrances. But we can adopt a policy forbidding open carry. I don't think anybody wants to have that in our clubhouse. So what is the policy, and are we planning to change it? That is my question.
Jody, I'll take that. There is no policy as of today, but at our next M&O meeting, we will be discussing it, and the policy will come up.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I'd like to know what is the job of the security person coming through to inspect the pools? It seems to me as they come in, they hit the button and they leave. They don't look around to see if maybe somebody is dead in the bathroom, or they just come in, hit the button and leave. I've watched this time and time again, and I'm just wondering why they're even bothering.
But they should be checking the bathrooms. I'm glad you brought it to my attention, so I'll be speaking with them. But they're supposed to be checking to make sure we
Right.
have anyone inside that's hurt.
Right.
Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Good morning, Jody. Mona Lloyd, Dorset. Jody, we're getting into season, as we all know, and I come through the gate, sadly, multiple times a day, and it seems that we have a pattern, and I don't know what the answer is, but we still have a lot of people that pull into the decal lane, block the lane, hold up their ID, the poor guard has to go over, checks the ID, and lets them through. It's almost like, you know, they're being rewarded for a bad behavior. I don't know what alternative we have, but the decal lane should be for decals, period.
Oh, I agree.
And I know you guys are in a tough spot and it's a no-win situation, but you know, if they have an ID, that does not get them to the decal lane. And I see it every day. Because you're trying to move traffic, I get it, but it seems like we need a better answer.
We're also checking the decal itself to make sure that it's working. We write it down and we turn that over to the ID office, which has allowed us to, with the help of the ID office, allowed us to change 770 decals. So we're just asking for you, if you're not sent to the lane, don't join that lane. But for the residents that are in that lane with the decal, if your decal is not working and we ask for your Central Village ID, we're asking to present that so we can know what information to turn over to the ID office so those decals can be replaced to help the flow of traffic.
But to be honest, from what I've observed lately, and I'm going to say 8 times out of 10, they don't have a decal. They just go in the lane because the other lane's long, they hold up their ID, poor guard has to come over, they look at the ID, and to move traffic, they let him through. They're not going to the other side of the car and checking ID, so I'm assuming as I'm 6 cars back that they don't have a decal.
I'm gonna look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for security? It's actually more of a point of information and then maybe a question. Months and months and months ago, Jody and I had discussed this. That lane is not a residence lane, it's a quick access lane for people or vehicles that have a decal. If you don't have a decal, it's not working, you shouldn't be in that lane. With that being said, is there a way of putting up a sign for decals only? Must have, is it there now?
There's signs. The residents, once they see, the thing is residents, once they see, even if it's 3 cars, 4 cars, they jump into that lane and then they call.
You have non-residents that do that also, but the sign also says residents.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, but for information, it's a quick access lane, it's not a residence lane.
And at times we do turn the residents around and have them join the guest lane. At times it causes havoc as well, but we do that as well. It's just for the guards to kind of be more strict with that and keep on reinforcing that for the residents that are going in that lane to not go in the lane, or else we're going to continue turning them around.
Jody, is there any record kept of the ones who offend constantly? In other words, people who do that trick all the time, they drive in and they don't have the sticker on their car. Is any record kept so that we could know if they've offended once, twice, 3 times, and perhaps then we could start doing something about privileges in the clubhouse or something like that?
The guards do write that information down on the PBSO form we have, and we do an incident report and it's sent to Ms. Millington.
Yeah, but then do you compile the information? In other words, if you see somebody is a 2, 3, or 4-time offender, it's time we took some action. It might be something to raise with Judy, and I don't know if legally we can do it, but it would be a thought if we compile those numbers.
Okay.
Dan Tanzer-Ainsley. My experience at that line is that the guards are not approaching the cars. The driver holds up a driver's license and they wave them through. So nobody's going out and looking at decals. It is not the way that they should be checking this. And as far as compiling a law, maybe a simpler solution is anybody that goes in there that should be in that line and shouldn't be in that line gets turned around, sent out, and let them come through properly. And if you do that, then they're not going to do it again.
Well, that's the thing. We do that from time to time. It doesn't always mean they move. They will stay parked there. We have residents who just park their car and it piles traffic up, which then backs up in the road and can cause more issues.
Well,
But
I think maybe there would be some short-term pain, but long-term gain. They can't win that battle. You can get them out of that line and then go after that kind of behavior. But it's annoying to see this abuse so regularly with the participation of security.
I agree. And as far as the license is concerned, I'm going to look into that because we should not ever be allowing a person to come through that lane by just showing their license and us not checking.
Stu Stryer, Dorset. Wouldn't it be up to each building director to go to look at the cars that are in spots, and if they don't have one, a thing in the window, tell them that they have to get one? I mean, I think there's a lot of people buy new cars, they don't know they have to scrape the old one off and bring in the number and get a new one for free. So they go over there and they find out it costs money and they say,
As Dorset president, I don't want to hear about that. No way will that work. I love Sid's suggestion, Jody. The other thought I would have to Dan's is, if somebody refuses to move a vehicle, that is like unspeakably bad. That has to be documented. That has to be reported. That has to be dealt with. Because that is just, chaos and hazards for people sitting out on the road trying to get in. So if I'm sitting there and refusing to move my vehicle because you won't let me in because I only have an ID and no decal, that has to be documented and that has to be reported.
Yeah, we do reports when they do that. Is when residents don't move, reports are done.
But I think to sit
But I
there,
absolutely agree.
the reports have to go to Judy or M&O or whatever so that we're able to make decisions based on the behaviors that are happening. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse as we get more people, and they just think they're entitled because they live here to use their ID and go through that decaling. But reporting and providing reporting to the proper management people is critical in my opinion.
Yeah, we sent it to Ms. Millington. We can definitely speak with her to see if she wants how to the M&O committee, but she does get the reports.
What does a decal cost to a resident?
Is it the replacement decal? It's free.
No, it's the initial charge.
One charge, the first charge is $25, but if the resident's decal is not
There's
working,
no
it's
cost.
free. So, and we do tell them, go get your decal replaced. A lot of residents, what they do is if they get a new vehicle, they take the decal off that vehicle and they put it on the next vehicle, thinking it's going to work. We also have outdated decals that start with certain numbers that they have to get changed over as well.
And Jody, I'd like to add one other thing that they may not realize, is that decals are not required. And I believe that legally we cannot require a decal. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. We cannot require a resident to have a decal on their car.
Yeah, and residents say this all the time as well, they don't want one on their vehicle. Unfortunately, we just let them know to use the guest lane and not to use the residence lane.
In other words, if they don't want it, we cannot require them to put a decal on their car.
Correct. Any other questions?
Good morning, my name is Al. I'm in Panchal. Let me ask you, Jody, I know that we're putting the burden on the resident for quick access, but what about the scanner mechanism itself that scans that car?
Why do you come here?
Often I pulled in and had to back up and pull in again.
You guys shouldn't be backing up. It definitely can cause accidents. We do encourage you guys to kind of slow down, even if it's to slow down to 5 miles, to allow the laser to scan, because if it rains, it does get foggy as well. So just kind of slow down, but you guys shouldn't be backing up. Security is to come to you guys to verify that you live here. If that scanner is not working, get your decal number and allow access, but that's if the scanner isn't working.
I agree with that, but it's not always speed. Often it's the distance away from the scanner, so maybe a better scanner might work.
I can suggest that to the administration. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jody. Okay, I don't have a president's report this month. I promise I'll double up next month. The treasurer's report, Lynn?
Why do we only have one microphone up there? The month ending balance in the checking account is $7,947. Our CD is $30,436 for a total of $38,384. Last month's balance was $39,890. Any questions? Thank you.
The M&O committee, while you're there, Lynn?
The committee met with management on September 17th. Present for management were Judy Milliton, Vice President, Site Administrator, Monica Wells, Senior Vice President and CFO of Centerville Recreation, Dan Cruz, Vice President, Regional Facilities Manager. All M&O members were present. The 2 meters that are on the north and south side of our entrances will be removed in the next few weeks. We are discussing having blinking lights at our major crosswalks. We will be doing one wear on this year's budget and the second wear on next year's budget, but both will be done this year as long as the weather permits it. We will be purchasing all of the necessary equipment on this year's budget as the cost of everything keeps going up. We are still waiting for the permits so that the work can start on the front of our community. We have been receiving requests for night swimming. This needs a special permit from the Board of Health. We will get the numbers to see what it costs to have night swimming at the main pool. We then reviewed the November 25th, 2025 to October 26th budget. Our coupon will be increased by $5.75. Any questions?
Only because other people in my community have been asking. The work that's going to be done in the front, I guess along the road or something, they're asking.
Say that again?
The work you just mentioned is going to be done in front of the building along the road, I guess. People have asked, are they putting a wall there, a new wall there, bushes or whatever? Could you just expand a bit on what you're going to be doing in the front?
We will make I believe we have decided that we will make a picture like we did the last time for the clubhouse so that everybody can see what it will look like.
Any other questions? Okay, Community Affairs, Comcast Cable. Those are areas that Stanley reports on every month. I spoke to Stanley and I asked him if there's anything that we should cover for today, and he said there's nothing new. So that's where we stand there, and he'll be reporting again next month. Thank you. Is Regina here? Yes. Okay, I didn't see your lovely face. Okay, hot wire cable. Anything, Regina?
Good morning. Hotwire and the clubhouse have come to an agreement, and it appears now that the hold harmless agreement will be signed by Hotwire, returned to Judy after the contract is fully executed. Hotwire will contact Judy and the clubhouse to make further arrangements for the wiring and the occupancy. In the long and short of it, they're soon to be in the clubhouse in room C for the convenience of all the Hotwire owners and residents to not have to leave the village to have their Hotwire issues handled. That's about all I have on Hotwire. Now, do you want the elevator update while I have the microphone?
Absolutely.
The cylinder project is still ongoing, and they are currently still in Fanshawe, and to my knowledge, M&O are going to be completed shortly, even though the schedule was a little tweaked and modifications made. The order of events from the last meeting are still the way it's going to go down. Anyone with any questions about when their building is going to be done, I would urge them to ask First Service by email, either through your CAM or directly to Leah. And as modifications on the schedule come through, First Service will be on it. Buildings will be posted, robocalls will go out under the guidance of First Service.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Ted, do you have a short report on the first service contracts as to the status of it? And also, while you're there, okay, if you have anything on bylaws, I don't think you do, but if you do, just.
Yeah, bylaws, first bylaws committee had no points of interest in the bylaws for which to have a committee meeting, so we have not yet had one. And as far as the first service contract, as was reported at the executive board meeting last Monday, we were still waiting, or Dan Washington, the attorney, was still waiting for First Service's response to the contract that we have forwarded to them through Dan, through our attorney.
Okay. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. Sid, you have a report on Cobra?
I have no report on what's been done, but I do have a notice that there will be an election in February. There'll be 4 seats open. The term is 2 years, February 10th of 26 to February 8th of 28. The 4 seats that are open are me, Susan Meltzer, Mona Lloyd, and Mark. Mark, give me your last name. Hoffman, thank you. Election procedures and eligibility are governed by the Cobra Group bylaws. A declaration of intent to run is due in the Cobra Group office by November 30th. If you want to become a candidate, please obtain a declaration of intent from the Cobra Group 2028@gmail.com. Complete the form and return it by close of business November 30th. If you miss the November 30th date, nominations will be taken from the floor at the January 13, 2026 Cobrua Delegates meeting. The election will be held at the February 10, 2026 Cobrua Delegates meeting. The positions are open to any permanent resident who is a unit owner of record. A permanent resident is defined as a person who has resided at Century Village West for at least 9 months in the preceding calendar year and is either a member of the Cobrua Executive Board or a director of a constituent member condominium association of Cobrua. Any questions? No, the Cobra election is February. In March, you have Cobrua and M&O. There are 2 separate dates, Lynn. I'm quite sure of that. Yes. Yes. Any questions? Thank you.
At Cobrua, the elections are here too in March. All positions are open, plus 4 M&O positions are open. Intent to run has to be returned by December 10th, 2025. Nominations from the floor at the February meeting will be accepted. Thank you.
I just want to add one thing. Everything I just said this morning will be in the next Cobrua Reporter, so you'll be able to see it and read it.
Same with us.
Mitchell Schaefer, Brighton. The elections you're speaking about are held every 2 years, right?
For Cobrua, yes.
No, for Cobra. Okay, so that means middle of 26 to the middle of 28. At the middle of 28, there's going to be another election. Buyout is at the end of 28. So don't you think the bylaws should be changed that at the next election, those people should be on board all the way through till the buyout, because in 2028, when they have another election, you could get new people that don't even know what went on for the last couple of years, and the important buyout's going to happen in another 6 or 7 months past the election.
Thank you, Mitch. It's something for us to talk about, and we will at our next meeting. Because as the election would be in February of '28, and although the date hasn't been set, it will be in the spring of 2028 that the entire community will be voting on whether or not to exercise the option. At that point, if we vote to exercise, you're right, that it would be good to have continuity there. If we don't exercise it, doesn't matter, one way or the other. But we will talk about that, thank you. And if you do attend our meeting, you can raise it there. By the way, very few presidents, the presidents and directors, is it just the presidents? Just the presidents are all welcome at our quarterly meetings. And you do get notices, so if you want to raise issues like that, you have to attend our meetings. Thank you.
I think we've committed at Cobra that we would provide financials at this meeting, so I'm just going to run through them quickly, if that's okay with you, Sid. All right, so as treasurer of the Cobra, our financials right now, our checking account balance is $19,548.15. We have now authorized as a board 4 CDs, one for $75,000, one for $20,000, one for $25,833, and the last one for $20,000. We've laddered those maturity dates so that we have access to those funds should we need them over the next few months. The total in our balance right now for Cobra is $160,381.74.
Okay. There's still another question. Okay.
Just a point of clarification on that, so everybody understands that the estimated expenses of going through the acquisition on our end could be somewhere around $500,000 between the architectural work, the engineering, and everything else involved in the legal work. So that's what this money is being used for.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions? That's it? Okay. All right, Carolyn.
I was just thinking, have you set the date yet for the Cobra meeting to update the residents? I know you're going to wait till the snowbirds come back, but I can't remember when you're going to do it.
No, unfortunately, there is no date set, and I am, actually it's on my to-do list because I think it's important. There are just, we worked so hard in the last several months since the spring to try and get a better deal with the Levies, and that did not work out. So it just seemed that there was nothing really new to report to you. And it's expensive to call the meeting because we not only have our attorney, but the associate attorney and the financial advisor. So holding a meeting is expensive, and if there was no new news to report, we just thought it would be the better thing not to hold a meeting. There will definitely be one, I'm hoping, for January or February. It still would be foolish to hold it now because the snowbirds are due back real soon. But that's my plan at this time, is to look to January or February to have a meeting. We are meeting with Mark Levy next week to discuss some points that are in the option agreement that still need some clarification. And so we are working on things behind the scenes, but there's nothing that we can tell you that would change what is in the current option agreement.
The biggest question I'm hearing is how the runoffs are going to be handled, just FYI. The biggest question I'm hearing is how the runoffs are going to be handled, because I know there's, depending on what community you are in, it could affect the ones that were built that are the oldest, less.
The runouts,
Yeah.
at this point in time, and I don't expect it to change, although nothing is written in stone, the runouts will be as they are in the option agreement. There will be no change. Anything else?
Elaine Harris, hi. Could you give us some briefly details about what the option was that you tried to get Levy to agree to, and how it fell through, why it fell through, what you wanted, what he wanted, etc.?
It would take, we went through a lot of scenarios. Our financial advisor went through a lot of models for us. If we do this, then it would be that. I would say probably at least 10 or 15 models. Mona, would probably that many. And what we tried to do was get a discount for paying 2 years earlier, where the sellers would have their money 2 years earlier to do with whatever they want, and we would get a discount for paying all cash. We would take a bank loan to cover the 2 years, and it would be paid out to us. It didn't work because there was very little give on the seller's part. They have an excellent investment in us. The rents are paid regularly. They've got another good 2 years where they can know they get their checks every month. And frankly, there's no reason for them to have given us much of anything. We didn't ask for a hell of a lot, and we got less than that. They did come back, I must say, they did come back with a small offer, but it was not in the judgment of us and our attorneys and financial advisor. It was just not sufficient to create the sale prematurely. And that's the decision we came up with, and that's where we stand.
Thank you, Susan.
Anything else?
Okay, Carolyn has an announcement to make.
Hi, good morning. I want to invite all of you to attend the residence celebration for veterans. It will take place on Thursday, November 6th, here in the party room from 1 to 4 p.m. It won't be unlike some of the celebrations we've had the last 2 years, but I certainly invite you to celebrate this opportunity to just thank the veterans for the service that they've provided and continue to provide, actually. If you'd like to help as a volunteer, please either see me at the end of this meeting or provide your name and telephone number to Sherry, and I'll follow up with you. So I look forward to seeing you all there. If you have any questions or any ideas, please see me after the meeting. Thank you. Again, please mark your calendars for Thursday, November 6th, 1 to 4 p.m. here in the party room. Thanks.
Hey, very good. Is there any old business at all from the delegates? Okay. Any old business from the residents?
No, we don't do that.
They don't get the, oh, I'm so sorry. business? Good and welfare delegates? Okay, good and welfare residents?
Hi, I'm John Garzaniti in Fanshawe, president of the Century Village Motorcycle Club. We seem to have a problem getting a simple announcement printed in the Cobrua Reporter announcing when the Century Village Motorcycle Club meets, where they meet, what time they meet, who to contact. If you're interested in joining, we have several new residents in the development that have motorcycles that may not be aware that we have a club. The reason that we have this problem is I seem to have developed, I'm the president of Central Village Motorcycle Club, a personality conflict with the editor of the Rural Reporter. We've had a couple of discussions which have frankly devolved into arguments about how much information is required, when it's required. All I'm asking is that the board simply request the editor to give us an announcement, just like they give all clubs an announcement in the Cobrua Reporter on the page where this announcement goes. It was in the press recently that a lawsuit was promulgated by a resident of the Seven Bridges gated community here in West Boca, alleging that there was targeted enforcement, discrimination of that resident by the HOA, right? Because all of the residents who have motorcycles are prohibited from getting a barcode to come in and out of this community without waiting in line with the non-residents. And because of this issue with the Cobrua Reporter, I think we have standing to launch a similar lawsuit. And I don't think there's any necessity for doing that whatsoever. I just want a simple announcement, just like every approved club at Century Village gets in the Cobrua Reporter.
Thank you very much. Next.
My name is Vincent Beechel. I'm at Mansfield G. And I would like to know all of the washes in all of the other units, they pay $1 or $1 and change. And in Mansfield, it's twice as much. In Mansfield G. I don't know about the other buildings there. It's Axon Pay.
Yeah, that's an association issue, and so what you should do is, well, I guess speak to your director and as well as the president of Mansfield.
All right.
Okay, because that's every association. It's an individual situation.
That's what I was told by everyone else. We spoke to the president of Mansfield, and she says she is not responsible for that. She has nothing to do with it. She said talk to First Service. We spoke to First Service. They told us speak to her.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
She's here.
Okay. Okay, as I said, it's an association issue that we can't do anything here about that. Was there any other questions? Good and welfare. What's going on? Oh.
Hi, just moved a few months ago, and I'm in Brighton Beach, and I had just one bedroom apartment, and I thought I have a little room and a laundry room, the storage, but it's just a small space. And I noticed in other property, they have big storage. Okay. Well, like I'm saying, other owners have big storage, you know, and I have just a little one.
Okay, that's an association issue also as far as storage is concerned. So that's something you have to resolve through your association.
So I have to go to the association and talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Because things not fair, you know, we all pay the same, and we have just.
Well, did you speak to the president of the association?
Excuse me?
Did you speak to the president of the association?
No, like I say, I just moved in not long ago, and
Well, that's what.
I came and talked.
That should be your next step, speaking to the president of the association.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Okay?
Good morning, everybody. From November 1st, the service asked us to pay directly with the checks for people who don't use their bank accounts for paying. To pay to P.O. Box in Tampa. Could you please kindly explain why? Because it was very convenient to pay in Clubhouse and no problem. Now we have a problem. We have to mail.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
What you need to do is to speak with First Service.
Okay.
Regarding
Thank
this
you.
issue.
Because it's for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was that what? Okay, someone make a motion to adjourn, please? Can I hear a second, please? Okay. Thank you all for coming and for your continued support.